What's up? It's Eunice and welcome back to my channel. So it's been a while since I last filmed, but here I am back with you again to talk about a new makeup product. So I've been hearing a lot of buzz about this makeup sponge in the Philippines, and as you can read from the title of this video, I am going to be talking about the Airblender sponge from Cay. So Cay is a YouTuber from the Philippines. I believe she started out with vlogs and then slowly branched out into makeup, and then that's where she really grew her subscriber base when she started talking about like beauty products and whatnot. I love her vlogs. I love how monotonous her voice is. It's just so relaxing whenever I'm getting ready in the morning, so that's what I like to watch. And I really think that whenever she does review a makeup product, she talks about it extensively, and whenever she loves a product, that product is like super good talaga. So that's why I decided to actually order the all covered by Cay Airblender sponge. I got this during the first launch and I asked my sister to order this for me from the Philippines, and it just arrived last month, but I've been holding off on trying it and reviewing it because it's been out of stock for quite a while. But then they announced in their Instagram page that they are restocking this Monday. So if you're watching this, I believe they're restocking now. So let's see how it goes, and if it's actually worth it, you better head on there. So this is how the sponge is packaged. It just comes in this little tiny mailer box, and as you can see, it says all covered by Cay. And I know that it retails for 288 pesos per sponge, and she came out with 2 sponges. Anyway, let's open it. It just has a short message there. Now, the makeup tool you will use shall be the last thing to worry about. I got you all covered. And she also has her little geometric heart logo. She just has a short note right here. It says, "Hello, makeup sponges have always been my favorite beauty weapon. It is an essential to have the immaculate base that everyone is looking for. Worry not, we got you all covered with the highest quality sponge we can provide, the Airblender sponge. Enjoy, and don't forget to tag us on our socials and hashtags. All the love, Cay." So as you can see, this actually came in 2 different boxes, but I just consolidated it to 1 box kasi kasha naman siya. The first sponge is this beveled black sponge, and this actually reminds me of the Wet n Wild sponge. I have a couple of sponges here. Forgive me because I did not have the time to wash them, so some of them are quite dirty, but I really wanted to have something to compare it to, like a size comparison, softness comparison, and whatnot. Like I said, the beveled black, which has that angled side right here, is really comparable to the shape of the Wet n Wild sponge. Now, the Wet n Wild sponge, if you live in the Philippines, it might be hard to get this, but here in the United States, I can basically go anywhere and I will be able to find this sponge, and it only retails for $3.99, so with tax, that's around like 215 pesos. So I really love this sponge because it helps thin out any foundation that I have. If it's too thick for my liking, I can definitely use it for everyday kasi nga, napapanipis niya because it's really soft and it does not really absorb that much product. It just does a really good job like blending it out para numipis siya and mas magmukhang natural. So we'll see if the beveled black will be doing that as well, because right off the bat, it's kind of a little bit more dense than my Wet n Wild sponge. Comparing it to the Beauty Blender naman, here's the Beauty Blender. It's quite kind of smaller, like thinner, not really smaller, than the Airblender beveled black sponge. And of course, the Beauty Blender is yung pointed side lang and then yung egg shape. Whereas this one, meron nga siya nung flat edge right here. Which is with the Wet n Wild sponge, that's what I like to use when blending in my concealer kasi mas feeling ko, mas shoot siya doon sa areas ng face. So yeah, that's a beveled black. And then there's another sponge right here, which is the Pink Teardrop, which is a lot softer than the beveled black sponge. Looking at the sizes, they're kind of similar, like they're kind of the same, pero this one is kind of a little bit fluffier and a lot softer too. Comparing it with the Beauty Blender, as you can see naman, the bottom is a lot more flat than the Beauty Blender, mas rounded kasi to. And then, of course, yung thickness din niya, sobrang thick nito. So this one naman, I think yung bottom niya din is comparable to the Wet n Wild sponge, which again, I love. So, the reason why I love it then for the bottom, I feel like because it's a little bit flat, it blends in the foundation a lot faster and a lot better. But I still do use my beauty blender. I still love this naman anyway. And then for another comparison lang, here is the Morphe sponge that I have. I don't really use the Real Technique sponge anymore because I feel like parang nag-iba yung texture ng Real Techniques na sponge. It doesn't blend out my foundation that well anymore. Parang ang dami niyang nasasock in na product, kaya numinipis ng sobra na nababawasan yung coverage sa face ko. So I don't really use that. So for drugstore version, I usually go for the Wet n Wild or the Morphe sponge for a more full coverage look. So yeah, that right off the bat, I'm so excited kasi parang soft naman siya, hindi siya too dense. So, I can't wait to try it on my face, try it with product. Kasi dun ko talaga malalaman if it's really worth it, kung maganda ba talaga siya, if it's at par with any of my other makeup sponges and whatnot. So, I'm going to go ahead and damp all of my sponges para we can see the size, kung gaano na siya kalaki after it gets wet. So, yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I forgot to press the stop recording button, but yeah, anyway, I have all the damp sponges right here, and I can't hold them all at once, but we'll start with the beveled black, and in comparison with the beauty blender, as you can see, it's almost like a quarter larger than the beauty blender, which I'm actually afraid of because it might be hard to like get into the smaller areas. But other than that, for like the full face foundation, I really like it kasi remember we have the Real Techniques face and body sponge. I really love that too kasi pag nagmamadali ka, sobrang dali mag-blend ng foundation kasi it's really huge and it covers a lot of the areas on your face. Pero hindi naman ganun kalaki yung face ko, so I don't really need that. But yeah, anyway, here is the Wet n Wild comparison, and it's kind of similar actually. So, bakit ako natakot na ang laki niya? But it's really similar, and actually the softness, akala ko nung una sobrang dense ito, but actually when you damp it, when you wet it with water, when it gets wet with water, ano pa ba? When it gets wet with water, medyo naging soft naman siya, and sobrang similar niya with the Wet n Wild sponge. So, I'm really excited for that kasi favorite ko talaga to, and this is the sponge that I use for every single day because it's so affordable and ang ganda niya mag-blend talaga ng foundation. And I'm so sorry, nagdadry ng buhok yung brother ko, so pause muna. Okay, this one naman is the oddball out, the Morphe face sponge. So medyo iba talaga siya kasi iba yung shape niya, and as you can see, it's really iba yung shape niya, but it's actually, if you take this part off, halos magkasing size lang din siya. And then, let's go for the pink teardrop. Sobrang soft niya. I feel like this is perfect pag mga foundation na for you to full coverage or too thick siya. Ito yung gagamitin mo. Kasi feeling ko, sobrang mapapanipis niya and mapapablend niya naturally yung product. Hopefully, it doesn't suck in that much product. So, in comparison with the beauty blender, girl, ang laki nung teardrop na pink. And parang kaya naman siya for the under eyes and the nose area. So, we'll test it out later. And then, for the Wet n Wild one, sobrang similar niya when it's like this side, but then when you, of course, turn it around, wala siya nung flat side like the beveled black sponge. Those are my initial impressions prior to using the sponges, and now let's get into applying the product on our face using those sponges. So, I have my foundation, my concealer, cream contour, cream blush, and cream highlighter. Well, liquid jelly highlighter. So, we'll use all those products to see kung paano biniblend no makeup sponge each of those products. Kasi for some sponges, I don't like blending my jelly highlighter with a certain makeup sponge because hindi niya nabiblend ng maayos or whatnot. Without further ado, let's get on to that part of this video and let's test the product out. First, I'm going to prime my face, and I've been loving this primer. This is the First Aid Beauty Hyaluronic Hydrating Primer. And I really love this, lalo na for my foundations na super matte. And this is besides the point because this video is not about this primer, but I really am loving this. And I got just a trial size. This is really perfect for dry skin kasi sobrang hydrating niya talaga. I usually use my e.l.f. Putty Primer for my nose kasi for pore filling, pero for today, wag na lang kasi hindi naman para dun yung video na to. Anyway, I need to stop talking. So for foundation, I'm using the Estee Double Wear Foundation, and this is in the shade Cashew. The reason why I chose this foundation is because this is full coverage. So whenever I apply this with any of my makeup sponges, full coverage pa din siya, hindi ako nahihirapan i-blend it out and whatnot. So I thought that this might be a good product to test out the sponges to see if they sink or they suck in any of the product or if they thin it out, if they blend it really well and whatnot. So I am going to be using the beveled black sponge on this side of my face and then the pink teardrop sponge on this side of my face naman. So we'll start with the beveled black. That's a lot. As you can see, medyo dark siya kasi summer shade ko to eh. I just didn't buy like a different shade kasi I wanted to finish up this one muna. Then I'm going to use like the bottom of the sponge to blend it out. Ang bilis mag-blend. Sobrang bilis ng pagbe-blend ko actually. Full coverage na siya, as you can see. And magko-concealer pa ako later, kaya hindi ko masyado nilagay yung under eye. But right off the bat, in fairness, it's really comparable to my Wet n Wild sponge. So I'm really happy about that. Now, let's try the pink teardrop on this side of my face. Parang ayoko dumihan. Sobrang love ko yung color nito. But yeah. So here it is now with both sides of the foundation. Right off the bat, I'm really leaning toward the beveled black sponge because feeling ko mas maganda yung pagka-blend niya for a full coverage look as compared to the pink teardrop sponge. Kasi ito parang I had to go back several times para ma-blend niya ng maganda yung foundation ko. Feeling ko mas maganda to kung you're going for like an everyday natural look lang and more of mga lighter foundations, yung hindi masyadong heavy katulad ng Estee Double Wear. But for me, kasi ako, ang prefer ko sa makeup is yung medium to full coverage. I'm really leaning toward the beveled black one. Now, let's see how it both performs with a concealer. So for concealer, I'm using my Too Faced Born This Way concealer in the shade Natural Beige. And I'm using like the flat side of the beveled black sponge to blend that in. Okay, now the other side. Okay, medyo tricky kasi medyo malaki siya for under eyes. But we'll see. Mas gusto ko talaga yung beveled black even with the concealer kasi I really have to go back and forth to blend in and to get the coverage that I want for this side. So next up, before we set our entire face, I'm going to use my cream contour to contour my face, of course. So I'm just using my Anastasia contour kit, and the way that I like to use this is I just use actually my finger, tapos just apply it on my face, like dot it out. And then I use the sponge to blend that in. Now let's use the pink teardrop on this side of my face naman. medyo weird. Pero parang mas gusto ko yung teardrop for blending in my cream contour as opposed to the beveled black. And I know they wanted the beveled black was actually the one for blending in contour. But then parang mas gusto ko to kasi parang mas nade-diffuse niya yung product naturally and mas kumakalat siya. As you can see, parang mas natural yung pagka-contour dito kaysa dito. Parang dito medyo patchy pa siya. So I'm going back with the pink teardrop one. Okay, now for a cream blush, I'm using this Flower Beauty Blush Balm in the shade Cinnamon. So, lagay lang ko na konti sa hand ko. And then, I'm going to use like the bottom of the sponge. Tsaka ko siya i-apply. Wow! Grabe. Wait. Sobrang naparami siya, guys. Okay, I'll use the pink teardrop on the other side. Okay, mas maganda rin to mag-apply ng cream blush kasi hindi siya as grabe oh. Ito natural lang. Ito sobrang wow, ang dami. Kasi nga, mas softer siya. So, mas nade-diffuse niya talaga yung product para magmukhang natural. So, parang gusto ko to pag mga cream contour, cream blush. Mas maganda siya. So, doon, kailangan ko siya pantayin, syempre. Pangit naman. Sobrang, medyo nag-crease na yung concealer ko. So, kailangan ko na siya i-set, guys. Now, for the jelly highlight. Ito, medyo tricky because, like I said, hindi nga lahat ng sponge gumagana dito pang blend. So, we'll see. I'm using the e.l.f. Jelly Highlighter. And I'm just going to apply a little bit on the high points of my face. Beveled black. Ayun o, pag hindi masyado maganda, hindi siya nagbe-blend na maayos. Nagbumukha siyang patchy. So, kailangan lang back and forth. Yan. Okay, other side naman. Hold on, nahirapan talaga siya i-blend. Hindi talaga siya nagbe-blend, guys. Hindi siya na-blend ng pink. Gamitin ko ng black. Okay, obviously, for the jelly highlighter, mas maganda yung beveled black. Kasi nabe-blend niya yung jelly highlighter. Okay, so I'm going to set the rest of my face off camera with like powder, put on some eyeshadow and some mascara, and then I'll be right back to talk to you guys about my my initial thoughts about the Airblender sponges. Okay, so I am back and now I'm going to give you guys my final thoughts about the Airblender sponge by Cay, from Cay, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, right off the bat, like I said, I'm really in love with the beveled black sponge and I really love it for foundation. It blended out all my foundation really well and really quickly as well. And for concealer, like this flat top part is really perfect. So I really love my Wet n Wild sponge. I highly recommend this because they're so similar. Like the softness is just right. It blends out the foundation really well. The only con to it is when it comes to like cream contour, cream blush, I would definitely go for the teardrop one because it blends it in a way that it looks more natural. But other than that, I personally don't use cream blush or cream contour every day. So I definitely think that the beveled black sponge will give me more bang for my buck because it's something that I will definitely get to use for every day with like my foundation, my concealer, also my jelly highlighter because I've been using that religiously. So yeah, I really love this, and for 288 pesos, I really think that it's a good price for what you get because the quality is really good. Like I said, it blended it out my foundation really well, and then the concealer part is good as well, and the size is actually just right. I definitely need to see how well it holds up after washing this, how many more months can I use it before I have to replace it and whatnot. So yeah, those are my initial thoughts about these sponges. Like I said, they're restocking today, Monday, if you're from the Philippines. They're available on Cay's Shopee account. I'll put a link down in the description bar. So that's it for today's video. Thank thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And of course, if you want to see more makeup related videos, beauty related videos, vlogs, and whatnot, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and follow me on my social media accounts. Once again, this is Eunice, and thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!